Good day, everyone. It is another episode. Remember to live with gladness. In this episode, we'll be talking on the topic how to rebuild trust when it is battered. When it's been completely shattered. When trust is broken, how to start rebuilding it again from broken to restoration. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of time and decision how to redevelop trust again on someone you have lost trust on. You have lost trust, here how to earn it back the right way. Remember that truly you can live with gladness again. My name remains Mrs. Sophia Kiwamu. The big question is, can broken trust ever be restored? You know, trust is easy to break, but why does it take so long a time to rebuild? Can broken trust ever be fully restored, or just carefully managing each other? That's how and what you see often. But one mistake can destroy a whole trust. That's why it's so important to become very careful. It is very difficult to rebuild trust because trust is built slowly and over time through consistency. But when it damages just by saying one single moment or action, it takes a lot of energy. Are you finding it difficult to rebuild trust with a specific relationship? If that's you're still struggling with people, yes, trust can be rebuilt. Trust is hard to rebuild. Yes, I know, but it requires time, it requires consistency, and it requires action and emotional healing, not just apologies. Trust is not just emotional, but it is a skill that can be rebuilt through consistency in your action, in your honesty, in reliability. It shows how trust affects one's personality, one's relationship, even your life generally. You hear people say, I don't trust anyone, only myself. And they truly live with that mindset. They are all because of what? Past experiences. That is the root cause of such statement. Therefore, trust is the confidence you place in someone based on their past actions, their past honesty, and their past consistency with words, allowing you to rely on them without constantly checking on them, doubting their capacity, doubting their action. So it is really true and possible to trust again. Trust is shown in how you believe on someone, that keeps it to his words. You feel safe sharing your information with people. You can depend on them, on their response, even when you are not watching them. You can build confidence that they're doing the right thing. You stop feeling on edge, even verifying every bit of their action. Trust is being able to depend on someone's word, depend on someone's action over time. You have confidence on someone. You believe on someone. You believe on their ability. You believe on their words. You just live in faith and strongly believe without any iota of doubt. You are assured of your reliance, depending on someone and something. It's so important. You know he is dependable. That's the kind of words you see when you trust someone. You can be rest assured, feeling secure, certain. Yes, you are not in doubt. No dispute, no distrust, no suspicion, no unbelief, feeling that something is wrong or not true, trying to suspect the person. It's not there in trust. That's why it's so important that you build trust in families, in relationships, amongst your colleagues. Look at the scripture in Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3 and 4. The Bible said, thou will keep him in a perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in the Lord. Trust ye in the Lord forever. Trust brings peace and stability. That's why it's so important we build trust. Just two friends can truly fall apart, just sharing private secrets, and suddenly, out of curiosity, one goes out to opens the secret to the public. It brings embarrassment. That often makes that friendship to separate, and due to that broken relationship, it becomes a challenge. The friends have to be restored back. Why? It is possible to restore by what? Building up apology, sincerity, respecting boundaries, and proving loyalty over time. You can rebuild that same trust. Slowly, that friendship can be restored back again. What are the areas to build trust on. To build trust is effective. You need to support some vital pillars because one or more areas has collapsed. That is actually the reason for the mistrust. Yes, some areas has collapsed. So when you strengthen them individually, it makes the whole structure more resilient. Trust isn't just about being a good person. It's about specifically, repeatedly, over time, in your behavior. Several categories has to be considered. Your competence, the can you factor. Yes, it's important. The reliability, the will factor. Can someone trust you? Integrity is important. Honesty is another major factor. Benevolence, the care factor. That competence is so important. This is your ability. You might trust a friend to keep a secret, but you wouldn't trust someone to fly a plane who is not a pilot. Skill is needed. Knowledge is needed. Having the necessary expertise is so important. That's why it takes time, consistency, doing the same thing over the time. Someone can truly trust you. Being willing to learn and improve on yourself is the gap that is affecting a lot of people today. That's why reliability is so important. The will you factor. Reliable is the bridge between the promise and the action. It is the most visible area of trust. Consistency is so important. Doing what you say is important. People can count on your word. Being there when things get difficult, not just when things are easy. Can people count on you at difficult moments? Clear communication. If you can't meet a commitment, a communication, if you can't meet it, there's no way someone can trust you. It's so important. Integrity, the honest factor. So important. Integrity is about the alignment between your words, your values, and your action. Can there be an alignment? Walking the truth, walking the talk. You are saying exactly what you are doing. Admitting your fault is important. Admitting your faults, not covering up. Be sincere. Making decisions based on the set of core values rather than short-term gain. Considering now, it can make you to lose your integrity. Yes, the care factor. This is the heart of trust. It is, yes, it's so important for one to believe you sincerely, being on people's shoes, taking the time of understanding how other people feel as well is so important. Sharing people's interests, moving away from what is it towards how do both of you win. The safe place to be is actually trust. That's why it's so important that we judge right. You judge right. Building trust across these areas is essential. It helps to manage a team. It makes it possible to work with colleagues. It makes it easy to work and connect with people. People need to know you are capable, you are competent, you are reliable, you are honest, you have integrity. Those are things that make people to truly trust you. That's why it's so important that we build capacity, because it happens over time. Look at the scripture in Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 7. Blessed is the man that trusts in the Lord and whose hope the Lord is. Whose hope the Lord is. Trust issue. It happens to a lot of people. A lot of people are dealing with trust issue. An employee is caught falsifying attendance records, causing managers to lose confidence in them. Over time, they can't believe you. In a professional environment, you need to rebuild your image before you can be trusted. That employee, what he needs to do is just to, over time, repeatedly be consistent with the right attitude, with integrity, daily. Over time, you see yourself, people can begin to believe on you again. Why is it so difficult to trust? Why? Trust is a complex mechanism because it is easy to, is essential bridge between the known and unknown. This is the known, this is the unknown. It's trust that makes you to keep holding on. When you trust someone, you are making a bet on their future behavior based on their past action You're making a bet on their future behavior. You are so confident that he's going to do the right thing. There are several practical reasons why it often feels like an uphill battle. The cost of vulnerability, the weight of past experiences. It makes it difficult to trust people. The information gap. You don't have all the necessary information. The high stakes. Yes, trusting someone means giving them the power to affect your emotional states. Humans are biologically wired for self-preservatives. Yes, the brain is wired in that nature to dictate threats. You can dictate threats. That's why it's so important to build trust over time, the weight of past experiences. If you defeat with someone, relationship is too difficult to connect back again. Your brain will always remember the negative time, the negative experiences, the challenges of the old. This is so important that we spend quality time to build trust. Be intentional. Yes, the information gap. You can never truly know what is going on in another person's mind. We judge ourselves by our intentions, but we judge others by their actions. Because we lack full access to the intentional world, to the internal world. There's always a gap, not knowing what the person is thinking, but your action speaks. Your action expresses your reality. When the stakes are high, what are the professional relationship, connecting financial matters, connecting with family matters, the fear of bad investment of your time and heart increases. It's so important that we build trust. Building trust is a slow process that usually works best in increments. It works best with time rather than light switch. That is like either here and there. It is important that we build trust where people earn more access to your confidence over time. Are you finding it difficult to build trust to a specific person right now? Or does it feel more like a general struggle with everybody around you? That's why, remembering this friend of ours, these were couples. The husband was lying over time repeatedly on financial matters. Yes, spending a lot of money on a hidden platform. The wife never believed it. That created a lot of gap. Trust broke over time because of that secrecy and dishonesty. The man wanted to restore the relationship, restore the connectivity. He has to apologize, spend time to do the same thing over, became transparent, open up. Gradually, the wife began to trust him again. Yes, that action is not just in words. It's not just trust me. No, it happened over time because trust truly works with time. Causes of loss of trust. Many people, the cause is dishonesty, lies, deception. Which one are you truly dealing with? When someone lies and hides the truth, it damages confidence and makes others to doubt even your words. Broken promises is another major cause. Repeated over time, commitment makes people feel you are unreliable. Yes, it makes people to feel you are unreliable. Betrayal of confidence, sharing private information and action against someone's expectation destroys emotional safety. They can't open up to you because you have lost trust. Inconsistency in your action. You're here today and you're there tomorrow. When action don't match with your words, don't match with your attitude, don't match with your values, it is difficult for people to truly trust you. Causes of trust. It's so important that poor communication can truly cause that mistrust, misunderstanding, and unclear messages can create suspicion, create confusion. Trust is lost when honesty is not there, when reliability is not there, when loyalty is not there. It's so important that we deal with these attitudes, how to develop trust. When it is battered, rebuilding trust after it has been battered and shattered, you must be intentional and give it a time. Be slow. It is a process that takes time. It is like fixing a broken glasses and more like growing a garden from the scratch. It requires time. It's create right environment, right condition, right attitude, build patience. That's the roadmap to navigate the process. Whether you're trying to trust yourself or trying to trust someone someone. Assessment before action is important. Before you try to build, you have to look at the site of the damage. Recognize the damaging factors if you are not trusted. The power of micro trust is important. Don't aim for 100% trust immediately. Small commitment. Start with simple, measurable things. Also learn to establish clear boundaries. When trust is damaged, you need safety around you to feel secured while people move forward. Also learn to practice self-trust. If you can trust yourself, you can truly trust others. Often, when our trust in ourselves are battered, we lose confidence and right judgment, even with people. Shifting the focus on trustworthiness. Instead of asking, can I trust them? Ask yourself, can I trust myself? Can people trust you? It is important to remember that trust is a choice, not just a feeling. You can choose to extend a small amount of trust while still feeling a bit nervous. That nervousness is just, yes, your experience protecting you. It doesn't mean you are doing it wrong. Are you working on rebuilding trust within a professional, within your relationship, within your family, within your contact? It's something that is possible. Practically take steps today to rebuild trust by building honest apology, ownership, consistent action over time, openness in communication. Be open, be patient to each other. Learn forgiveness. Learn forgiveness is so important. One attitude must be careful. Don't rush into trusting people. Rebuilding trust is not easy. Don't rush to trust people. Admit mistakes when you have made one. Stop repeating the behavior that broke relationship. Don't stop repeating it. Be consistent even in small things. Little things, be consistent. Give yourself some time and also give the next person an opportunity to heal. Let your actions speak louder than your promises. Let your actions speak. Trust is so important. It starts with a genuine apology, honest apology, right feedback. There is an assurance for hope. If you truly want to rebuild trust, trust can be rebuilt. That's the good news, but only with time, with truth, with consistency. Trust truly can be rebuilt. Why it's so difficult to truly rebuild trust? It affects one's emotion. The pain is so deep. The fear of repeated betrayal. That's why I see people, no, I don't want to connect again. Loss of confidence in words. Time is required for healing. Rebuilding trust is often difficult. Yes, I do know. Because trust is not just given. It's not just you earn it. You earn it over time and can deeply be damaged just in a short while. If you're careless with yourself, emotional wounds take time to heal. Trust truly gets deep even into our emotion. These emotions don't disappear quickly. It takes time, making it hard for offenses to be rebuilt back, to be repaired back. Fear of repeated betrayal. That's why it's so difficult to actually get our trust back. People naturally become conscious. Even when someone changes, you can't believe the person have changed. Yet become conscious to relate to even with others. Losing credibility. Once trust is broken, words alone are no longer enough. Words alone are no longer enough. The person who broke the trust must be consistent, prove himself over time, with patience, and you see yourself, people begin to believe on you again. Difficulties in forgiveness and letting go. That is the attitude. That is the behavior of such one. Some people struggle to fully forgive. That's why you just have to give some people time. Without true forgiveness, rebuilding trust becomes almost impossible. Yes, change perception of person after betrayal. It's difficult to believe the person have truly changed. Yeah, that's why you just have to give it a time, allow the person to do the same thing over and over, and truly you see the person, just like the instance I gave. This relationship over time, he was lying, there was deceit, but after a sincere apology, he gave him some time. Yes, it's something possible, and over time, he truly was genuine, but it requires you to be intentional, to step in. Especially consistency is what is needed. Genuine repentance is needed. Own it. Don't outsource trust. Healing begins when the person who broke the trust fully admits the wrong. Admit that you made a mistake. Not giving excuses. Taking responsibility is how to start rebuilding. Consistency with honesty. Be honest consistently over time. People can count on you. Trust is rebuilt more by what is repeatedly done over time. People will sincerely, little by little, believe on you, trust you, count on you. Openness is important. Transparency is important. Clear communication is important. It helps you to reduce suspicion. Being willing to answer questions honestly and calmly helps you to rebuild safety, even in relationship. That's why you must learn to be patient with each other. Emotional space is also important to set boundaries. It requires a yes moment, and don't allow the pressure to just allow the trust to start up immediately. Forgiveness and willingness to start gradually. Trust can truly restored back, but it needs time. It doesn't erase the past, but it opens the door for healing. Trust is often rebuilt. It opens door for healing, not at once. Give it a time, consistency, with time, with action. Don't rely on words alone. Show reliability with your action, with honesty. Keep promises. Keep to your words. Keep to your action. Again and again, trust can truly be rebuilt. No matter how long you have gone through, whatever you have gone through in the time past, open communication requires patience. Be transparent about your action. Be willing to answer concerns without getting defensive answers. A lot of people are defensive. At the same time, allowing the other person time to heal. Allow the next person to heal. Ask questions where necessary. That's how we can truly rebuild trust. How to develop trust when it is battered. It takes time. It takes time. Be intentional. It is important. Just like fixing a broken glass. It seems impossible looking at it. But if you consistently, carefully work on it, give it time, give it right condition, give it right environment, the roadmap to navigating the process begins even as you assess and take action. Before trying to rebuild, you have to look at the side damages. What are the damages? The power of micro trust is important. Don't imagine that it's going to happen 100% trust immediately. No, small commitment. Start with simple and measurable things. Boundaries. Establish clear boundaries. When trust is damaged, you need safety. You sincerely need safety while you move forward. Practice self-trust. Start trusting yourself with everything you can imagine. Often when our trust in others is battered, we lose trust even from ourselves because we judge wrongly. Also learn to shift focus on trustworthiness instead of asking, can I trust them? Tell yourself you can sincerely trust others. That's why you have to be intentional. It is important to remember that trust is a choice, not just a feeling. You can choose to extend a small amount of trust while still feeling a bit nervous. Then nervousness is just your experience protecting you. It doesn't mean you are doing it wrong. Are you working on rebuilding trust within your professional partnership, within your friendship, within colleagues, within families? Or this is just what you need to do, connecting and being intentional. Broken trust is painful, but not the end of the story. Healing is possible. Honestly, healing is possible. Healing is possible. Give it a time. Your actions, your values. What do you think? The hardest part about rebuilding a broken relationship. Remember to share. Remember to also call for counseling. Also comment. Remember to live with gladness. It is your personal responsibility. You can truly rebuild trust when it is battered. You can truly rebuild trust. It starts by defining your challenges, setting up the problems, and looking out for solutions and practice over time. With consistency, you begin to see a new chapter and a new season that will restore that relationship again. God bless you and have a glorious season.